investigate. There's our blonde white ladies. Natalie Holloway. She's in the sand. She's in Aruba.
Dude, is that a bit of yours?
No.
Because that is
Patrice did it. Patrice did a thing like,
he did
Natalie Holloway. Now, who's like, he said, I'm paraphrasing, but on Patrice, elephant in the room was like, he's always like super deep in thought. Yeah. He was the best, man.
He was the greatest,
like
dude.
Water going downhill. Whatever the audience said, boom, 20 minutes of material in that direction.
He was just starting to get his, don't you think?
No, he was right there.
Like, boom.
I'm gonna correct you. We were starting to get his.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he was that from day one. And so he would go like, the girl, Christian Bannister, killed that white girl. What? And the whole crowd is like, Natalie Holloway. He goes, that's right. Natalie Holloway. And then he killed that girl in Peru. What's the Peruvian girl's name? And like, you can hear, and there's crickets. You can hear the air conditioning. And he just goes, exactly. Like everyone's like looking around like, really?
How smart is that, by the way?
It's really smart.
God damn, man.
And he's like, and Jim Jeffries said it, sitting in that seat, like, if you're white, or no, Eddie Iff said it, if you're white and go missing at sea, they send the Coast Guard to get you. And I'm like, you have a compass. You did this on your own in your stupid skit. Like, hey, I'm going to sail to Catalina. Well, you shouldn't because you're 9.
Yeah.
Like your parents should have said, maybe not yet. Why don't we take the chopper? But they'll send the whole Coast Guard to get you. But if you're Biggie, Tupac, Natalie Holloway, John Benet Ramsey, or Jeff Buckley, they're like, nah, you fucking drowned. We don't know what's up.
What the fuck is going on?
Like,
man?
and all of his friends, there was like 8 guys on the riverbed with Jeff Buckley. He just was celebrating something. Like, you would think one of those guys or all of those guys would come forward on extra and go, look, he fucking drowned. We watched it. He was our best friend. It's a muddy, quick river, and he was wearing boots and a leather coat.
But there's just not...
So was I, but I made it to the end of the movie, Jay. Sorry.
When did you meet Patrice, dude?
I met Patrice in Boston when he was doing an open... No, it wasn't an open mic. I was working with a comedy team called Cato and Morin as their middle act. Patrice emceed. We were in a bar, like, in the outskirts, like Warwick, Rhode Island, maybe, like a weird, like, kind of Boston-y. Yeah.
That
and
club
he was emceeing, but his name on stage was Bruiser. He's from Roxbury. And he used to come on stage, and I remember Steve Cato on the comedy team was just infatuated with him. And he'd only been doing comedy like a year, and Steve Cato, super thick, from Warwick, super thick Warwick, Rhode Island accent. Jay, mark my words, Bruiser will do Carson. Bruiser's going to do Carson. Mark my words, Mark. Bruiser will do Carson. What fucking dirty chouts they all are. Can you imagine dating? Like, everyone up there is married in Boston. Like, come on, it's wicked retarded. Fuck me tonight, you fucking tat. Like, how do you put your head on the pillow next to that every night if you're not just a Southie guy yourself? Anyway.
What year was that, Jay? What year?
90, yeah. 91, pre-SNL, pre-Saturday Night Live. So he did Leno. He didn't do Carson, but he did Letterman,
Yeah.
Anyway, and then when we found out his name was Patrice, we laughed so hard he almost fought us.
I bet.
But we laughed like at the idiocy of going on stage as Bruiser if your real name is Patrice and this 300-pound black guy, menacing black guy who's like mad at the world, like that's that's like a point guard named Chauncey. Like, it doesn't get better than that. Blackest name in the NBA, Chauncey.
Yeah, that's a good one. Chauncey's pretty good.
When the Pistons were up and running, we used to play that game like, okay, what's the blackest name on the court right now? And guys, it would be Pistons Lakers.
Yeah.
And people would be like, Shaquille. And I'm like, but that's just like made up.
Right.
And like,
Shaquille's not made up.
Yeah, there's a lot of Shaquilles running around.
No, but I thought you meant it was like made. No, it's his birth name, goddammit.
No, I mean, it's like a made-up name. Like, they went, we could take an S and a Q, and they just mushed it together.
Yeah.
Like, Anthony, nothing will ever top that as a society.
Never. Especially because it was his mom actually believed that was the spelling of the name. That's what's insane.
I was going to let it go.
I couldn't.
Because we're always redlining up towards racism anyway.
But why is reality racism?
No, not now. The podcast before you got here. I don't want to go in the water. So, Anthony Hardaway's mother, his nickname was Penny. Best slam of all time. He was guarding somehow in a rotation. when he was on the Magic, he wound up guarding Barkley.
Uh-huh.
Like a 2 or a 1 guarding a 4.
Right.
And Barkley looks over his shoulder, taking his time, like nobody called 3 seconds. And he goes, "Get off my back, nickel." Called him nickel. Like, and only people on the baseline heard it. Yeah. Like, just one of the greatest, like, you're nothing.
Did he
slams.
dunk on him?
No, maybe. I don't know. Chuck didn't have, he didn't dunk on many.
No, he didn't. He didn't have those skills.
But Anthony Hardaway's mother thought the name Anthony was spelled Anthony.
Unbelievable.
And when she filled out the paperwork, his mama named Clay. I'm going to call him Clay, too.
Clay.
So it was like Lakers, so you had Eldon. It was back in the day.
Orlando Woolridge was good. Orlando's
pretty tight.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah, from the Bulls, number 0.
Yeah, but he played in the Lakers
Orlando
for a sec. Orlando Woolridge. Ah, man, what are some other great names?
But the Pistons had Ben Wallace, Rip Hamilton, Chauncey Billups,
Tayshaun
Prince, and Rasheed Wallace.
Right, those are
and
good.
Everyone's going Rasheed.
Tayshaun, dude, come on.
Yes, and I remember we were at a big party, not a party, just for some reason there were 16 people watching this game. It was like a Sunday. Back like like NBC. It was an event always, right? Marv Albert would do it.
Totally.
It was always Alonzo Mourning versus somebody. PJ Brown.
John Starks.
Yes, and it counts. That was the day, man.
Fuck yeah. Remember that Starks dunk over Jordan?
One of the best of all time.
Is there a better one?
Well, to me, it's Dr. J over Cooper.
But is it so obvious that it's not? You know what I'm saying?
To me, it's not. It's the greatest because the rims didn't give then either, so he almost broke his fucking forearm.
Landsberger in there and Cooper. Remember that? Landsberger just cemented to the floor.
He came from so far out.
Came
of
around
the way.
Landsberger, went under Cooper, and
then he did that weird thing with his arm.
Plus, that was in the playoffs. Also, was Starks dunk though. So
Starks' baseline was over like 4 guys.
It was over Jordan too, which made it great.
Grant.
Jordan says he wasn't in there, but he shows the picture. His nut is on his face.
He's on the post.
Yeah, dude.
But Scottie Pippen on Ewing was crazy in that same series.
That was
where
amazing.
His balls were actually in his face.
I remember.
And he hung on the rim.
And he kind of tucked his head in a little bit.
He literally put his cock in Patrick Ewing's face.
Mouth.
Like, fuck you. Like, they were so sick of the Knicks because they were so rough.
Totally.
It was Patrick Ewing and 4 car thieves.
Yep.
No one had any business. Like,
Mason?
No one on that team would be, like, even on a second unit today. Like, Oakley would.
Mason, dude. Mason could ball. Those guys could play. Yeah. They were just such thugs, dude. Straight up. Prison lift.
We're never, and it was by design by Riley. We're never, because when Pitino was there, it was just shoot the 3, die by the 3. And then when Riley came in, he went, "Oh my God, these guys suck." Well, you know what we're going to do? We're going to play such amazingly disgusting, rugged defense. They're going to change the rules.
Right.
So that you can't put a hand in a guy's back when you guard him. Because when Gerald Wilkins was
used to guard Jordan, right?
He's the only guy I've ever seen guard Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But he was like almost parallel to the floor. And he had his hands on Mike's ass and back.
Straight arming him,
and
dude.
now you got to put a forearm in the back.
And then Jordan got that changed, man.
So we were sitting around watching that game.
That's a good memory.
Tayshaun, Rasheed, and I remember it was like one of my favorite moments. I think I was hanging out with like a bunch. Yeah, it was like a bunch of alternative comics, and everybody was like a couple sports fans, and they were throwing out the names, and I was like, "Oh my God, I haven't spoken in a while." Because I can't stop talking ever. So like, just lay back, and I went, Chauncey. And everybody just went, "Whoa, my God." I go, "It's a white girl's name."
Wasn't it an old aristocrat English guy's name? That's why it makes it so great to me. Chauncey's not a girl's name, is it?
It could be.
Like to me, Chauncey was like Chauncey, Duke of Earl. You know what I mean? It was like, that's why I think, it was like sort of remixed in the hood. You know what I mean?
Chauncey.
Here
was my argument. If you go to school and they're like, "Hey man, Rasheed's looking for you," you're like, "Man, fuck Rasheed."
Yeah.
Fuck him. But if they go, "Chauncey's looking for you," like, that's some shit out of The Wire. Like, ooh.
Well, remember Menace to Society when they called looking for a Chauncey? He goes, "Yeah, my fucking faggot ass Chauncey's here." Remember that?
No.
The best scene ever is a Chauncey reference in Menace to Society.
There's a brother named Chauncey.
Chauncey's in that scene there with the O-Dog, and they're all playing video games, and they're watching the tape. Remember that? They're watching the tape.
Oh, yeah.
1995. And someone calls, and he goes, "Who's there?" And they're like, O-Dog, this, and the faggot-ass Chauncey. You don't remember that?
I do now.
It was because I'm doing it so good. Because it was the best scene.
To the listeners, if you see Mark's face when he does impressions of guys.
It takes it to the next level. Menace to Society, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
Of all time?
Yeah. Right there with Goodfellas, right there with all those.
Oh, you're out of your mind.
Dude, especially the way it holds up 20 years later. Watch Boys to Men and watch
Brothers,
Men.
Right?
Yeah.
Where did they go? They were great filmmakers.
Did Dead Presidents, and they did something else.
The documentary about pimps, American Pimp.
And I love
American
that.
Hustler.
Great.
From Hell with Johnny Depp. But those guys were super good filmmakers.
They were, and they just don't make many movies anymore.
Maybe they are just making movies, and they're just in the can, as they say. Who knows?
It's hard to get them made these days, Jay, as you know, brother.
Yeah, it's hard to get in them too.
When was the last movie you were in?
I just actually did a small role in Burt Wonderstone. It was awesome. It was Steve Carell, Jim Carrey.
Oh, what movie is that again?
The Wonderful Burt Wonderstone.
And what are those two doing? What are they?
They're magicians.
Yeah, that's
Vegas. Right. Steve Buscemi and Steve Carell are like Siegfried and Roy, and they break up. And then Jim Carrey is like David Blaine. He comes to town. He lets people punch him in the face.
My God.
And they reunite to have old magic bring down the new magic. It's really just breaking with magic.
Is it the greatest movie ever?
They got to come together and join forces with Ice-T behind the wheels of steel with Ozone and Turbo.
That's awesome, dude. That's so great.
Colors. Did you meet the Kardashians when you were on Extra? Did they hit yet?
I did meet them. Yeah, they were just starting to bubble under. I left Extra in 2008. Yeah, and it was just starting to bubble under the Kardashian experience. They really nice.
Are they retarded?
No, they're not. They're really smart people. The mom's smart. I mean, listen, we're not best friends with them. I didn't hang out with them, but they're very sweet girls. I would love to have some inside dirt and just lay it out here. They were nothing but kind to me when I was at Exeter.
You don't need it. That's the thing. What inside dirt do you need? She's famous because Ray J fucked her and filmed it.
Good point.
Like, that's why let's not forget.
How funny is that? Think about that.
Oh, it's hilarious. She made $15 million, and I'm doing a podcast from my garage for free.
Yeah.
You fucking creeps. Get your priorities straight, America.
Come on, man.
She got fucking railed by Ray J, who's not even like a real rapper. That's like you try to fuck Shock G, and you...
No, Shock G was dope, dude.
No, that's what I'm saying. And you get like one of the underlings.
Oh, okay. And you get Money B or something.
Yeah, you get Money... Exactly. Thank you. So Ray J was like a bullshit rapper. It wasn't even like somebody's crew. Like,
right.
If you listen to Jay-Z, there's a Memphis Bleak.
Like Meek Mill or something. Yeah.
Yeah, or if you listen to Snoop, it's like Daz.
Or you get,
if you listen to Gangstar, there's always like Little Dad from the group home.
Nice.
Like, it wasn't even like one of these guys that you break off, they get the spillage.
Right. It wasn't even Ali from Tribe, It wasn't even like a third, fourth member deep.
He wasn't. Or even Vinny from Naughty by Nature.
And by the way, I'm going to say one more thing. He was actually not even as big as he is now then when they filmed this shit.
He was a bum.
How about that?
He was a bum.
Unbelievable.
And now he's a star.
I guess
because of it too. So anyone out there that wants to make it in this business, don't go the Mark Mcgrath, Jay Mohr, Mark Maron, Adam Carolla, Kevin Smith route. Just have sex with somebody, film it, and release it. That's my advice for show business. And I haven't seen it. Did you see it?
I don't know what's more offensive. You put me in with that group of people you just mentioned, or the Kardashian experience right there.
What, Kevin Smith and Adam
Mark
Carolla?
Maron? Like, no, but I'm saying, your listeners are like, McGrath does not belong in that clique right there.
No, I'm talking about people that are working
that actually
hard.
went and did something and had a talent and got noticed for that. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I was saying your listeners are probably like, where's Waldo in that group you just met? Like
you?
Like mentioning me, like with that group of talented motherfuckers you just mentioned.
Dude, none of us have been on stage singing.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. That's funny.
Yeah, but I'm sure the listeners think that the argument can go the other way. Completely.
I'm good at bringing podcasts to a screeching halt. That's what I was doing.
No, this is a great podcast. We've had some shitters.
You really who?
I made a mistake. It's my fault.
Why?
Because I let Kevin Nealon sit here. And this is a massage chair that's not on, as you notice.
Well, wait a minute.
Hold on. He just gotten off a flight from Atlanta. He's my neighbor. He lives right around the corner.
He's the nicest guy in the world.
He's the best. But it was like we were doing an interrogation scene from Law and Order. If he was in the mafia, he's doing time for everybody.
But wow.
He wouldn't roll. He wouldn't tell me anything. And he's just...
You couldn't get shit out of him? You?
Bro, I almost didn't put it up.
Really?
And then Matt Cohen goes, you got to put it up. Your listeners will respect that you never let up. Like, I was relentless. And I wouldn't stop. I'm like, what was it like when you met Farley? And he goes, it was good. Good kid.
Not just that.
And he goes,
why show up then, Jay? You know what I'm saying? If you're not going to give
No, you came to play. You're way ahead of the curve.
I'm saying, why show up? why show up if you're Kevin Nealon if you're not? And the guy's been in showbiz a long time. He understands the give and take.
I want him to come back. I think, honestly, he was completely exhausted. He was doing me a favor. The podcast was in his infancy, and he sat in a massage chair after a 6-hour flight.
Yeah, and he was.
And during the podcast, you hear him go, "This feels really good." And then I walk him home, and we get to Northfield right here, and he goes, once Nora Dunn spit in Jan Hook's face. And I go, that's a really good story for a podcast.